Being a football player is the ultimate dream for millions around the world. But for these three players to achieve this dream, the money and the glory wasn't enough to keep them playing. And we'll be looking at why they quit, starting with Manchester United legend Eric Cantona. Eric Cantona is hailed as one of the greatest strikers to ever grace the game, with the legendary Sir Alex Ferguson listing him as one of the 4 world-class players he managed at Man United. His career started in France in 1983, where he quickly made a name for himself, eventually moving to Marseille in 1988 for a record fee in French football. Marseille ended up winning the league 3 years later with the help of Cantona, but after this triumph, he bid farewell to his boyhood club and transferred to Nîmes. Cantona came to Nîmes with a notoriously fiery temper, and this didn't change at his new club. Just a few months into his time there, he held a ball at a referee in anger, which earned him a 1-month ban from the sport. This ban actually prompted Cantona to retire from football at the age of 25, with the headlines reading, "Cantona packs it in," seemingly marking the end of a promising career. Knowing his potential, French national team coach Platini convinced Cantona to give football another chance, and in 1992, Cantona made his return to the game by signing for Leeds United. Cantona's impact was immediate, with the Frenchman playing his part in Leeds winning the league, catching the attention of Sir Alex Ferguson, who ended up securing his services for Manchester United. It was at Manchester United where Cantona truly flourished, winning the Premier League every season except one during his time at Old Trafford, and with him being a standout star each year, he was made the club captain for the 1996-97 season. With Cantona just becoming the captain of the most successful club in England, you would have expected him to play for many more years to come and lead United to even more glory. But instead, this was his final season in professional football. Towards the end of the season, United took on Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League semi-final, but ended up losing both legs 1-0. It was here that Cantona realised his passion for football was gone, and the day after the second leg at Old Trafford, Cantona told Ferguson that he was retiring at the end of the season. Cantona stayed true to his words, and at the end of the season, he shocked the world by announcing his early retirement, delivering a farewell speech to the United fans at Old Trafford, where he explained the reason behind his decision.
Yes, I quit football because I lost my passion for the game.
This was a moment that left the world stunned. Cantona was in his prime at just the age of 30 and had captained United to yet another league title, so for him to quit while at the very top was something many deemed crazy. But for Cantona, passion was the driving force behind improvement, and without it, there could be no progress, something he later explained in an interview with Joe.
But until the last day of my career, I always work hard to improve something.
But when
It's why maybe when I retired, I lost the passion for the game and I said I will not improve anymore, so I retired.
In the aftermath of his football career, Cantona embarked on a new journey in the world of acting. He's ended up finding success on the big screen, landing a variety of roles on both films and television, and has carved out a unique path beyond the realm of sport. Cantona isn't the only football player to retire early though, as 3-time Balon D'or nominee Hidetoshi Nakata hung up his boots at 29 years old. Nakata's journey began a decade earlier as shown at Balmare, where he scored the winning goal in the Asian Winners' Cup final during his debut season. Nakata continued to excel in Japan and was named the Asian Footballer of the Year in 1997. But it was in the 1998 World Cup where he announced himself to the world. Despite Japan crashing out on the group stage by losing all 3 of their games, Nakata held his own and left a lasting impression on everyone who watched the matches. This caused the Serie A club Perugia to snap him up for €3.5 million, marking the start of his European adventure. His debut season in Italy was nothing short of a success, with Nakata netting an impressive 10 goals for Perugia. This caught the attention of Roma, who then secured his services in January 2000 for around €21 million. It was with Roma that Nakata reached the pinnacle of his career, playing a crucial role in their 2000-2001 title-winning season. In what proved to be a title-defining match against Juventus, Nakata scored a 30-yard screamer against their league rivals, and then played a vital role in their second goal to secure a 2-2 draw, ultimately winning Roma the league by a narrow 2-point margin. Following his success with Roma, Nakata made a move to Parma in 2001 for a world record fee for an Asian player. At just 24 years old, Nakata had the world at his feet, and many anticipated even greater achievements in the years ahead. He continued to shine at Parma too, notably scoring a crucial away goal against Juventus in the first leg of the 2002 Coppa Italia final, which Parma ultimately won. However, as time went on, Nakata's love for the game began to fade away, with with him stating a few years after his retirement, "Day after day, I realised that football had just become a big business. I could feel that the team were playing just for money and not for the sake of having fun." It was this realisation that made Nakata want to quit football at the young age of 29, despite his undeniable talent and potential for many more successful years. And so, after his man of the match performance against Croatia in the 2006 World Cup, Nakata announced to the world he would be retiring, stating, "I decided half a year ago that I would retire from the world of professional football after the World Cup in Germany. I will never again stand on a pitch as a professional player, but I will never give up football." The news of Nakata's early retirement was a shock to the football world. He was considered as one of the greatest ever Asian players, so for him to step away from the sport so early was very unexpected. Since retiring, Nakata has ventured into entrepreneurship in the alcohol industry. In 2015, he established Japan Craft Sake Company, and since then, he has launched his own bespoke sake, N. Hidetoshi Nakata and Eric Cantona both quit football due to a lack of passion, but Carlos Roa's reason to quit in the prime of his career despite interest from Manchester United is something much more wild. Emerging at a racing club 11 years earlier, Roa's goalkeeping talent was evident from day one. He went on to make over 100 appearances for the club before transferring to Lanús, where he then led them to their first ever Copa Conmebol triumph in 1996. This success earned him a move to the recently promoted Mallorca, where he would continue to thrive, securing himself a spot in Argentina's squad for the 1998 World Cup. Roa had an exceptional performance throughout the tournament, with him not conceding a single goal during the group stage and saving a decisive penalty against England in the round of 16. The season after, Roa's status as an elite goalkeeper was solidified when he helped Mallorca win the Supercopa de España and took them to the Cup Winners' Cup final. In the prime of his career, Roa attracted significant interest, including the treble winners Manchester United, who had been watching intently and were willing to pay out up to $10 million to make him the long-term heir to Peter Schmeichel. However, Roa never ended up joining United, as he shocked the world by retiring at the age of 30 to join a religious retreat. As a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, Roa believed the new millennium would bring about the end of the world and thus quit football. Roa went off the grid and disappeared without a trace, leaving his club and his agent with no idea where he was. Eventually, Roa was tracked down to a village called Villa de Soto and was reportedly fulfilling his duties as a priest to his family. Roa did return to football after the world failed to end. However, he never reached his former heights. Reflecting on his decision years later, Roa said he thinks that on a spiritual level it was a very good decision, but he did admit that in sporting terms it wasn't, saying he could have progressed a lot with great contracts and the possibility of playing in England. Since his official retirement, Roa has transitioned into coaching, serving as a goalkeeping coach at various clubs. Currently, he finds himself at AEK Athens, who won the Greek League in his first season there.